Alex Carter had always loved the open road. At 27, with a decent job that allowed for occasional time off and a reliable car, he decided it was time for an adventure. A road trip across several states, sightseeing and exploring, sounded like the perfect escape from the monotony of daily life. He planned his route carefully, excited about every destination on his list. South Dakota's Badlands National Park, with its striking landscapes and eerie beauty, was one of the stops he anticipated the most. As Alex drove through South Dakota, the scenery changed dramatically. The lush greenery gave way to rugged terrain, and the sky seemed vast and endless above the desolate landscape. It was late afternoon when he reached the Badlands. The sun cast long shadows, making the rock formations appear even more dramatic. He pulled over at a scenic overlook, eager to take some photos. The view was breathtaking, jagged peaks and deep canyons stretched as far as the eye could see. There was an unsettling silence to the place, a stark contrast to the bustling city he had left behind. As he stood there, taking in the view, an older couple approached him. "Beautiful, isn't it?" the man said, smiling. "It really is," Alex replied. "I'm glad I decided to stop here." The woman nodded. "Just be careful if you're planning to stay around here after dark. There's an old legend about this place." Alex's curiosity was piqued. "What kind of legend?" The couple exchanged a glance. "They say a banshee haunts these parts," the man said. "A spirit of a young woman who died tragically. Her wail is said to foretell death." Alex chuckled nervously. "Sounds like something out of a horror movie." "Just a bit of local folklore," the woman said. "But it's always best to be cautious." After they left, Alex couldn't shake the conversation from his mind. He shrugged it off as just a spooky story meant to entertain tourists. Yet, as the sun began to set, a sense of unease settled over him. The Badlands looked even more haunting in the twilight. Determined to shake off his nervousness, he decided to camp for the night. He found a spot not too far from the overlook and set up his tent. The isolation was both thrilling and unnerving. He built a small fire, cooked a simple meal, and tried to relax under the star-studded sky. As night fell, the landscape around him turned pitch black, save for the flickering light of his campfire. The silence was deafening. Alex's mind wandered back to the legend of the Banshee. He laughed at himself for being so easily spooked, but the nervousness lingered. Just as he was about to call it a night, he heard something in the distance. A low, mournful wail. It sent a shiver down his spine. He told himself it was just the wind, but the sound grew louder and more distinct. It was unmistakably a woman's cry. Heart-pounding, Alex grabbed a flashlight and shone it into the darkness. The beam of light pierced the night, but revealed nothing. The wail came again, closer this time. Panic set in as he realized the legend might be more than just a story. Desperate to get back to his car, Alex stumbled through the darkness, the wail echoing around him. He could almost feel the presence of someone, watching him. Finally, he reached the car and fumbled with the keys, his hands shaking. He jumped in, started the engine, and sped down the dirt road. The wail persisted, following him. In his rearview mirror, he saw a figure standing on a ridge, illuminated by the moonlight. It was a woman in a tattered white gown, her face obscured by her long, dark hair. The sight chilled him to the bone. He drove faster, but the terrain was treacherous. The car bounced and jolted as he navigated the winding roads. He glanced back at the ridge, but the figure was gone. Relief washed over him, but it was short-lived. The car suddenly lurched to a stop. He had hit something. Alex got out, his flashlight in hand, and saw that he had run over a large rock, damaging the front axle. He was stranded. The wail came again, louder and more anguished than before. Panic surged through him. He had to get away. He grabbed his backpack and started walking, hoping to find help. The darkness pressed in around him, and the wail seemed to follow. He stumbled over rocks and uneven ground, his breath coming in ragged gasps. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was being hunted. After what felt like hours, he saw lights in the distance. A ranger station. Relief flooded him, and he quickened his pace. He reached the station and banged on the door, desperate for help. A ranger opened it, looking startled. "Please, you have to help me," Alex gasped. "There's something out there. A banshee." The ranger's expression turned serious. "Come inside. Quickly." Once inside, Alex tried to explain what had happened, but the ranger stopped him. "I know the legend. We've had reports of strange occurrences here before. Can you call for help?" Alex asked, his voice trembling. The ranger nodded and picked up the radio. As he spoke, the wail came again, this time right outside the station. The ranger's face paled. "Stay here," he said, grabbing a rifle. He stepped outside, and Alex watched through the window as the ranger scanned the darkness. The wail was deafening now, a sound of pure sorrow and rage. Suddenly, the ranger fired a shot. There was a brief silence, then a horrifying scream. The ranger stumbled back inside, his face ashen. "It's real," he whispered. "The legend is real." Before Alex could react, the door burst open, and the figure of the banshee loomed in the doorway. Her eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, and her mouth twisted into a scream. The sound was unbearable, filling the small room with a wave of despair. Alex backed away, his heart racing. The ranger raised his rifle, but the banshee moved with inhuman speed, knocking it from his hands. She advanced on Alex, her eyes locking onto his. He felt a cold hand grip his heart, and his vision began to blur. In a last, desperate act, Alex grabbed a flare from the ranger's desk and ignited it. The bright light seemed to momentarily stun the banshee. He threw the flare at her, and she recoiled with a scream. The room filled with smoke and the acrid smell of burning. The banshee retreated, her form dissolving into the night. Alex collapsed to the floor, gasping for breath. The ranger helped him up, and they both stared at the open door, half expecting the banshee to return. Hours passed, but the wail did not come again. As dawn broke, the ranger escorted Alex back to his car. They drove to the nearest town, where Alex finally felt safe. Alex never forgot the terror of that night. He returned home, his road trip cut short, and tried to resume his normal life. But the memory of the banshee haunted him. He couldn't shake the feeling that he had escaped death by a mere stroke of luck. He never spoke of the encounter, fearing no one would believe him. The legend of the Banshee of the Badlands remained just that, a legend. But Alex knew the truth. The Badlands held secrets far more terrifying than anyone could imagine, and he had narrowly escaped becoming one of them.